What will you learn in this segment? You will learn that we work under the assumption that firms maximize profit. You will learn that profit is defined as total revenue minus total cost. Total revenue can be calculated as price times quantity sold. And finally, you will learn how to divide cost into fixed and variable cost. Where is a firm's profit coming from? Profit is a residual. That means it is what is left over when total costs are subtracted from total revenue. Profit can be calculated if we take the total revenue, this is what the company collected by selling their goods, and we subtract all cost, total cost. Let's look at an example. Assume a company sold goods worth $15,000. But in order to produce these goods, the company had costs of $12,625. The difference, or what is left over from these 15,000, is $2,375, and that is a profit that the company made. You know already that revenue is the first step to calculate profit. But where is revenue coming from? Well, revenue comes from selling a good. It is a quantity that a firm sells times the price that the firm charges for each of its goods. Let's look at an example. Let's say a company sold 1,500 chocolate cases, and each chocolate case cost $10. Then the total revenue, the total sales the company made is $15,000. You learned already that profit is the residual, what is left over when you subtract total cost from total revenue. But where is total cost coming from? We divide total cost in total variable cost and total fixed cost. Total variable costs are directly related to production. If you increase production, total variable costs go up. If you decrease production, total variable costs go down. Think about labor cost, material cost, and energy cost. The more you produce, the more labor, material, and energy you need. Hence, total variable cost will go up. Total fixed cost, in contrast, occur independent of production. No matter if you produce little, much, or if you don't produce at all, total fixed cost will be always the same. Think about executive salaries, rent, interest payment for capital. All these costs have to be paid no matter if you produce little, much, or if you don't produce at all. So total cost is the sum of total variable cost plus total fixed cost. If you change the arrangement of this equation, you can calculate the missing component. For example, if you have total cost and you subtract total fixed cost, you can calculate total variable cost. If you have total cost and total variable cost and you subtract total variable cost from total cost, you can calculate total fixed cost. What did you learn in this video? You learned that profit is a residual. It is what is left over when you subtract total cost from total revenue. You learned how to calculate total revenue. You multiply the quantity sold with the price charged. You learned how to split total cost into total fixed cost and total variable cost. Total fixed costs occur regardless of production level. If you produce little, if you produce much, or even if you don't produce at all, total fixed cost will always be the same. In contrast, total variable cost increase and decrease with production. These are costs for material, labor, or energy. The more you produce, the higher these costs will be. The less you will produce, the lower these costs will be. If you don't produce at all, total variable cost will be 0.